Alan Lynn Penn. I am Alan Lynn Penn. I am Alan Lynn Penn. Everyone who has ever felt mistreated and did unfairly, just say the name. I am Alan Lynn Penn. This is the start of session 2. When I left you, I talked about my arrest. Now I will give you my case from my perspective of what happened on that awful and dreadful morning. I woke at 5:30, February 7, 1983. I showered, dressed, went to my hangout, which was the Delta service station. Everyone in my hood hung out there, from the dope boys to the stealers to the prostitutes. It was just a bad neighborhood. Anyway, I ran into another Lynn. This was a friend of mine. His name was Lindell Walters, known as AKA Sir Lynn. I was known as AKA Thin Lynn. Yeah, we looked alike, kinda. Drove the same vehicle, dressed the same. He was a friend of mine. I got into his car and we rode around looking for something to get into. We ran into a guy we knew, and he was looking to smoke some weed. So we found him some. He shared some with us and gave us some. We dropped him off at his home, and then we returned back to the Delta. And my girl showed up. Her name was Cynthia Gray. She had just got out of jail and wanted to see me. Then she left telling me she would return later. So me and Lynn, we left and rode around up the street. When I looked around, I seen this taxi parked in front of a used-to-be girlfriend of mine. I got mad, and I said, I'm taking this taxi, because it was still running, the motor was running. So we took it to Woodmore Circle and took what was in it and left it there. I know. I never one time want you viewers or you listeners to think that I was some nice guy or a school guy or a college guy. I was a street punk. I was an outlaw. But one thing I wasn't that, and that was a murderer. Anyway, we returned back to the Delta by now. It's late. Set the time at 10 o'clock or 10:30 p.m. My friend Terry Ford showed up with his little brother named Robert Ford. They had just gotten off work. I shared a drink and smoked some pot with them. Then they left. Terry told me he would see me later. Just then, Cynthia showed back up and got in the car with me and Sir Lynn. She was acting kind of funny. So I told him, I said, hey, man, take me home. When we got there, Cynthia immediately got out the car and went into my home. So I sat there and I told Lynn, I said, man, check it out. I said, I'm gone. I said, my girl tripping, man. But she hadn't seen me in a few weeks, and she just wanted to spend some time with me. So he left. When I got to the bottom of the stairs, she was waiting on me and told me that we didn't have any soaps. So we went back to the Delta service station because it was a convenience store where everybody could, you could buy gas, sodas. It was like a store within a service station. So it's around, set the time now at about 11 o'clock, 11:30 by now. When we got there, we ran into Terry. He was a little buzzed and asked for money. So I gave him money for gas and beer. Then I went into the store and Tony was working. Yes, we was on first name basis. I consider Tony a friend. This is Mr. Anthony Faraday, the one that got killed. While me and him was talking, Cynthia got the things that we needed. So we got ready to leave. I told Tony I would see him later, not knowing that I would never see him again. Terry was waiting on us outside the store. He offered us a ride, but we declined. It was so beautiful that night. Even though it was frigid cold, I wish I could picture this for y'all, but it was just really cold and beautiful. There were stars everywhere. I remember me and Sid, we sat down outside for a few minutes at my stairs and just viewed them, not knowing that a storm was approaching, a really, really bad storm. We went out in our home and took our baths. I would say it's now, I'm setting the time at 1 o'clock, 1:30. Please pay attention to the time frame. It's very important. After a while, someone started blowing their horn really, really loud. Cynthia said, say, who is that out there? And I looked out, it was Terry. She said, man, leave him out there. So So I closed the curtain. Then he got out of his car and started beating on my door. So I had to get up now. I didn't want to wake my mom up. She'd be mad. I opened the door and I said to him, man, this better be good. He said, man, oh man, the Delta has been robbed and Tony's been shot really bad. I tripped out. I said, man, we was just down there not too long ago. So I started to get dressed. He said, where are you going? I said, man, I'm going to check on Tony. He said, I wouldn't do that if I was you. I said, why not? He said, because, man, they may think you did it. Plus, you need to hide your gun. I said, man, why would they think I did? I've been here all night. You know that. So I say, me and Sid, we looked at each other. I said, Terry, talk to me. But he was trying to get the hell out of my house for some reason. As soon as he left, Sid said, babe, you know I don't like him. I never trust him. So I hid my gun, which in the story you'll see was a really bad mistake. There were 3 shotguns in my hood. I had a 20 gauge, another associate of mine had a 16 gauge, and Terry had a 12 gauge. Tony was killed with a 12 gauge shotgun. Investigators found 12 gauge cases all at the scene. So we just sat there, stunned. Then all hell broke loose. My mama hollered at me that the police were everywhere, all over the house. So I came down the stairs, and they started to go upstairs, but I told him, I said, my girl, she's up there, and she wasn't dressed. So they sent a female officer up there, you guessed it, Valerie Staley Beal, up to her car. I was placed in cuffs and taken to the Little Rock Police Department. I told you about what happened at my arrest and my release. Anyway, as I said, I was released 2 days later, and I was riding down my street when a neighbor friend girl of mine stopped me. So I pulled over. She got in. She said, Lynn, you know old boy died, don't you? I said, no. She said, yes. Wow. So I broke over and looked at her, and she was getting money out of her blouse, a whole handful. She told me that she had made this babysitting, and she wanted me to take it and leave the state. Her words were, I will never, ever forget this. She said, Lynn, just think, a white man has been shot in the face and killed, and the police has no clue who did it. They are coming back to get you because you are convenient. And they have to get a time to someone. Just think about this for a minute. Here's this young black woman, 16 years old, knew that any black man would have to do for this crime. But in my mind, I'm saying, I hadn't did anything. And so I gave it back to her. So I figured things would work out. Naive. If you ain't did nothing, what you gonna worry about it for? I hadn't did anything. But it didn't. 4 days later, Frank Enoch called the Little Rock Police Department, told him that he seen me inside the Delta with a gun on the night of the shoot. Prior to that, the Little Rock Police Department Crime Stoppers offered a $1,000 reward. The Delta Service Station Incorporation offered a $5,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest and conviction. This would seem like really, really short money, but think about it. 1983. $6,000 would probably equate to $60,000 today. So I was rearrested and taken into custody. I want to thank you for your support. This will conclude session 2. In session 3, I will give you more details. Stay tuned because this story is about to get really, really ugly. I need all the help I can get in this case, please. Any suggestions, attorney, prayer? Thank you again. May God bless.